P6, today for maths we're going to be focusing on a little bit more timetable work. I noticed when I was going through your assignments yesterday, a lot of people find that really challenging. So I've made a bit of a longer video today going through some timetable questions and how you would solve them to hopefully make you feel a bit more confident with that particular skill. So I've done things a bit differently today. I want you to watch the video. You'll need a pen and paper for this, and then when you're finished and ready to move on to your tasks, rather than being set for your group, I've set a mild, a medium and a spicy challenge. So if you're really finding timetables quite hard, go for the mild challenges. If you're kind of like, yeah, I'm getting on okay, go for the medium. Or if you thought yesterday's work was quite easy and you want something that makes you, it's challenging you a bit, go for the spicy challenge for today. I have included answers for all the challenges because with everybody choosing, it's really hard for me to keep track of which one you're doing. So I would really appreciate if you could self-assess your challenges before you submit them onto the assignment. And then that way, if there's anything you don't understand, I can give you some feedback and hopefully target anything that you're finding difficult. So please make sure that any work you do, rather than posting it in the comments, you pop it onto the assignment, and that way I can give you personal feedback without everyone else seeing. So I've popped the first couple of questions up on the screen for us. So there are 3 questions based off this bus timetable. So first of all, let's have a look at the bus timetable and the information we can see on it. So we've got the information that this bus goes from Greengate Lane to Hilltop Road, and it must start and stop at the times on the timetable. So it's bus number 24, and we've only got one particular journey for this bus to look at. So our first question, how many minutes does it take to travel from the pizza restaurant to the cinema? So the first step of trying to answer this question is looking for the important information in the question. So we can see that it mentions the pizza restaurant stop and the cinema. So those are the 2 that we really need to look at. So we know it picks up at the pizza restaurant at 22 minutes past 2 or 14:22, and it drops off at the cinema at 16 minutes past 3 or 15:16. So we need to work out how long that duration is. So to start off with, I'll write down my times that I need. So I need 14:22 and I need to get to 15:16. So we can use our timeline method that we've used before for calculating durations to help us do this. So I would start off first of all by adding on 8 minutes. This would bring me up to 14:30 or 2:30. Okay, you can see that's brought me up to there. Now I'm going to go up to 3 o'clock because that's my next hour marker. So that would involve adding on 30 minutes, and that would bring me up to 15:00. And then I need to work out how to get from 15:00 to 15:16, and I know I would add on 16 minutes. So you can see I've done my timeline and I've got all of the times that I used up at the top. So let's add them together. I'll start off by doing my 16 minutes plus my 8 minutes. So 16 plus 8 is 24, and then I'll add that to my 30. So 30 plus 24, you could do a Samson sum if you wanted. So 0 and 4 make 4, 2 10s and 3 10s make 5 10s or 50, put them together, 54 minutes. So I know that my answer would be 54 minutes to get from the pizza restaurant to the cinema. So for our next one, we're asking how many seconds does it take to travel from the cinema to the car park? So first of all, we will have a look at what the important bits in the question are. So we need to give our answer in seconds, it says that, and then we need to work out the travel from the cinema to the car park. So let's look at the times from the cinema to the car park. So it stops at the cinema at 16 minutes past 3, and it ends up in the car park at 15:25 or 25 past 3. So first of all, I need to calculate how long, and I'll do this first in minutes because it's the easiest way. So I'll count up to the next 10. So plus 4 minutes would bring me up to 15:20, and then I would just add on my 5 minutes to get to 25 past 3. So when we put 4 and 5 together, we know that the journey must take 9 minutes in total, but we need to give our answer in seconds. So we can use our 6 times tables to help us here. A lot of people made this really easy error. They just did, there's 100 seconds in a minute, so they would times it by 100 and get 900 seconds, but we need to remember that there are only 60 seconds in a minute, so we need to times 9 by 60. Now that's in your head probably, oh, quite a tricky sum, but we know our 6 times tables. We know that 6 9s are 54, therefore we must know that 9 60s must be 540 seconds, which would be our answer. So our next timetable that we're looking at is a little bit different. This is a TV guide timetable. Now, if it is a bit small for you to see, I would suggest if you're on a phone, screenshotting the picture just now and zooming in on it. If you're on a laptop or a tablet, it should be big enough for you to see. But you could screenshot as well. You know how to do print screen. We've talked about that before if it's not quite big enough, but it should be okay unless you're viewing it on a phone. So what I would like you to do now is pause the video and I want you to try those 3 questions, and then whenever you're ready, come back and I'll talk you through them. Alright, so our TV timetable looks a bit different than our bus timetable. We can see that it shows us the times for 2 different channels. We've got channel 23 and channel 34. So there are different shows on these channels and it only gives us a start time for each show. So if we look at the Tom and Henry cartoon, we know that it starts at 15:00 or 3 p.m, but it doesn't say on that specific box where it ends. So we need to look towards where the next thing starts, and that'll tell us when it ends, because TV doesn't stop. It's not like there's big gaps where nothing's going on. We know that as soon as a new show starts, the old one must have ended. So we can see that the Tom and Henry cartoon would finish at 3:10, so it took 10 minutes. So question part A, how many minutes is the TikTok music show on for? So we scan the timetables and we see that TikTok music show is on channel 23 and it starts at 25 minutes past 4 or 16:25. And then when the next show starts must be when it finishes, so it finishes at 16:40. So we can write down our start and our finish time, and to calculate how long the show would be, we would need to find the difference between those two. So we can use our timetable, our timeline method if we need to, or you can do it in your head. So I would do plus 5 minutes, which would bring me up to 16:30, and then plus 10 minutes, which would bring me up to 16:40. Put them together, it would make 15 minutes. So the TikTok music show lasts for 15 minutes. Part B, how many seconds is the Eyes on the Past history documentary on for? So important information in this question. We need the name of the show, which is Eyes in the Past history documentary, but then also it's asking for our answer in seconds. So that gives us a clue, because the timetable is given in hours and minutes, we might need to do some converting. But first of all, before we do any converting, we need to work out how long it's on for in minutes. So we can see that Eyes in the Past history documentary is on channel 34 and it starts at 4 o'clock or 16:00 and it ends at 16:20 when the next show, Haha Comedy Show, comes on. So that one's quite easy. We can see it takes 20 minutes. Really, really quick. All right. Now we need to work out this in seconds. So there's a couple of different ways you could do this. You could do 60 seconds doubled and then times it by 10. Or you could do 10 times 60, which is really easy, it's 600, and then double it to get that twice, which would be 20 minutes. So I'm going to do it that way. So I know that 60 seconds times 10 would give me 10 minutes worth of seconds, which would be 600. And I know that to get 20 minutes, I just need 2 10-minute slots, so I would double that. So double 6 is 12, so I would get 1,200 seconds. That would be the correct answer for that one. And then finally, we have got part C. What TV programme is on at 4 o'clock on channel 23? So if we look at channel 23, we're looking at the times. I can't see 4 o'clock anywhere there. So a lot of people would go, well, there's nothing on at 4 o'clock. But for most channels, there's always something on all the time. So what programme would be playing, even if it's in the middle, at 4 o'clock? So what starts before 4? We can look at, we've got Brainbusters game show on channel 23. It starts at 3:45, and then we've got the weather forecast, which starts at 4:15. So we know it can't be the weather forecast because that's after 4. So it must be the Brainbusters game show. It's in the middle of its run. So again, I have popped up another timetable. So this is the actual Carlisle and Dumfries bus timetable, just really similar to the one that you used for your writing your own questions. Now, I really do appreciate this is quite small, so there's a couple of options of what you could do. I will put this PowerPoint into the file section, so you could have the file section open while you're watching the video and watch the PowerPoint along with me. Or like before, if you're on a phone, you can screenshot and zoom in, laptop or computer. Hopefully it'll be big enough for you to see, but if not, the option is there. I'll put the PowerPoint in the file section for you to use if you need it. So let's have a bit of a look at this PowerPoint. It has got lots of information on it. So let's talk about what it all means. We know that this bus is the bus that starts in Carlisle and ends in Dumfries. It doesn't show the other journey. And it gives us a lot of information. So you'll see along the top, it says that this bus timetable is from Monday to Saturday. So it's no use for Sundays, there's a separate timetable for that. The first stop on the timetable is Carlisle bus station, and it has quite a lot of stop options until it gets to Dumfries on the White Sands. Along the top, you'll see some options of bus operators. We've got SN, SW, ML, AL. And you might be wondering what they mean, but if you look down at the bottom of the timetable, you will see that there is a key and it says operator and it tells you what they mean. So for example, Stagecoach Northwest is represented by SN. Stagecoach West is represented by SW. So that just tells you what particular bus company are running the service that you will be getting. Underneath it says the route numbers. We've got 79, 879, we've got 295, 379, 179. Why do you think that is important? So that's important because if you're at a busy station, for example, Carlisle bus station, you need to be able to locate your bus, and you'll do that by saying, okay, I know that if I'm getting the 6:42 a.m. bus, it must be a Stagecoach Northwest, and should have the number 79 on it. So that helps you find your bus if you need it. And then underneath that, you'll see a note section. So we've got a few things, and again, there's a key down the bottom. We've got NS, SD, S star, and then we've got one that's just a star, and each of those means something slightly different. You can look along the bottom to see what they mean. If it says school days only, obviously that means that it only operates when schools are in session. So if it's a school holidays, that bus doesn't run. The next thing we're going to look at is all of the different stops. So we've got Carlisle bus station, and then we go sort of to Gretna, through Eastleigh, Cummertrees, and then through Cullen and to Dumfries. But if we look at the bus timetable, there's a lot of sort of the 3 dots, which shows that the buses haven't stopped, or that particular bus does not stop at that stop. So I don't think there's any buses that stop at all of those stops. The nearest one is probably the 9:25 a.m, which only misses 1 stop, but the rest of them all miss at least kind of 2 or 3 on the route. And then down the bottom, we've got please note on English bank holiday, service 79 will operate as normal between Dumfries and Annan. Obviously this service crosses the border, so things are a wee bit tricky. So this is just a little bit of detail about the information we'll find on a bus timetable. This is quite a detailed one, there's quite a lot on it, so I thought it was a good one to pick to talk about all of the different things we could find on a bus timetable. What we're going to do now is I've got a few questions for you based on this bus timetable, and you're going to do them, and then I will talk through how to do them and what the correct answer was. So hopefully when we're doing today's timetable work, we're feeling a little bit more confident than we were yesterday. So you can see we have got our first question, who operates the first bus from Carlisle on a Saturday? So give it a pause and try that one yourself. So our first question is, who operates the first bus from Carlisle on a Saturday? So your first idea is to look at, we need to know when the bus starts from Carlisle, and we need to know it's on a Saturday. So let's look at the first bus. So the first bus on the timetable is at 4:57 a.m. or 4:57. But if we look above it, it's got a note, which is NS. So let's go down to the bottom and identify what NS means. Now, NS means not Saturday. So if I'm asking who operates the first bus from Carlisle on a Saturday, it can't be that one because it doesn't run on a Saturday. So let's look at the next one. We've got one that leaves at 5:27. So if we look above that, there's no notes, meaning it must run from Monday to Saturday. So this one does run on a Saturday. And it's the first one out of Carlisle. Let's look at the bus operator. It's SN, and we know from the key that stands for Stagecoach North West. So that's who operates the first bus from Carlisle on a Saturday. Question number 2 is, which bus takes longer to complete its journey, the 11:25 or the 12:25? Now these are the buses that start from those times, so pause me now and give that a go. Alright, so for question number 2, we've got 2 journeys to compare. So we've got the 11:25 and the 12:25. Alright, so to complete their journey, that means right until the last stop, and the last stop for both of them is Dumfries White Sands. So the 11:25 finishes off at Dumfries at 13:08, and the 12:25 finishes off at 14:06. So you can see that's our start time and our end time for the first bus, that's our start time and our end time for the second bus. Now you could go and calculate by adding on how long the duration of each bus is, but if you look at these times, do you notice anything that could help us do it a quicker way? So they both start at 25 minutes past the hour. This one is at 11:25, this one is at 12:25. So this one leaves exactly 1 hour after the first one. So we know that if we look at the end times, if they were the same amount of time, they should be exactly the same, but in this case, they're not. This one finishes at 8 minutes past the hour, so in this case 1, and this one finishes at 6 minutes past the hour, in this case 2. So if this one finishes at 8 minutes past 1, and this one finishes at 8 minutes past 2, this one actually takes longer, because if it was the same amount of time, it would finish at 6 minutes past 1. So the first bus actually takes 2 minutes longer because it finishes at 8 minutes past 1, whereas this one, even though it's an hour later, it finishes at 6 minutes past 2. So it's 2 minutes shorter than the first bus. Question number 3, I want to get to the outlet village by 11 AM at the latest. What is the latest time that I could leave Carlisle bus station? Oh, we spelled a mistake there. There should be an L in there as well. So what is the latest time I could leave Carlisle bus station to get to the outlet village by 11? So pause and off you go. Alright, so we know that the person needs to get to the outlet village by 11 at the latest. So I'm going to start off by looking at Gretna Outlet Village and looking across the timetable. Now, not a lot of the buses that are first thing in the morning actually stop there, but we are aiming to get there by 11. So let's look at the times that are closest to 11. So we've got one that gets us there at 10:42, one that gets us there at 10:50, and one that gets us there at 11:06. So the 11:06 would be too late. Let's look at the 10:50. Can you spot what the issue is, which is why we couldn't use that one? So that one doesn't actually start from Carlisle, so there'd be no use in that bus because the person wouldn't be able to get from Carlisle to Gretna. So we're going to need to go to the one before. So that would be 10:42, it would get me into Gretna Outlet Village, and that bus leaves at 9:55. So that is the latest time the person could leave Carlisle bus station to get to the Outlet Village by 11. Question 4. How long does the 9:25 take to get from Carlisle bus station to Cullen? So pause me and give that one a go. Alright, so let's start with writing down 9:25. So it starts from Carlisle bus station at 9:25, and if we follow the timetable down, we can see that it arrives at Cullen at 10:54. So we need to see how long that takes to get from the Carlisle stop to the Cullen. So this one is a simple timeline one. We need to count on to find out where to go. I'm just going to draw it again because you can see I haven't really left myself a lot of space down there. And you can see I also forgot my 0 in front of my 9 and my 24-hour time, oh dear. So we need to get from 9:25 to 10:54. So I'll start on by counting up to the next hour. So we know that if it's 25 past, it'll take 35 minutes to make up to 60, which would bring me up to 10. And then I would need to add on 54 minutes to get from 10 to 10:54. So again, I could use a Samson sum to help me out here. I could do 54 plus 35. So 4 and 5 make 9, 3 tens and 5 tens make 80, so it would be 89 minutes. But we wouldn't give our answer in that because it's more than an hour. So let's take 1 hour out, 60 minutes out of that would leave us with 1 hour and 29 minutes as our answer. Question 5, I get on the bus, I get on the 8:27 at Longtown and I get off at Gretna Central Avenue. How long was I on the bus for? So pause me and give that a go. Alright, so if you got on the 8:27 at Longtown, now this one is a wee bit confusing because it's the 8:27 bus, however it doesn't arrive at Longtown at 8:27. You would call it the 8:27 because that's when it starts, even though you're not getting on it at the first stop. So to find the bus, you would look at the bus timetable, 8:27 from Carlisle, and you can see it there. And then you could follow it down to Longtown. So you see that the 8:27 actually it gets to Longtown at 8:52. And then you're going to get off at Gretna Central. So Gretna Central, it arrives there at 9 o'clock. All right, so this one here, once you've actually found the times, it's a really, really simple one because it's just the plus 8 minutes until you get to 9 o'clock, which is the next hour. So it was 8 minutes on the bus. This is our final question for today. I get off the bus at Clarenceville at 11:42. I was on the bus for 33 minutes. Where did I get on? So pause me and give that one a go. This one is a bit different because we're actually working backwards. So we know that the person gets off the bus at 11:42 at Clarenceville. So we can look for Clarenceville and we'll go across until we see the bus that stops there at 11:42. And you'll see it towards the end of the timetable there. Then what you would do is you would work backwards. So we want to work out what was the time 33 minutes before 11:42. So we need to count backwards. So I would start by taking off the 3 minutes. So minus 3 minutes would bring me to 11:39. And then I need another 30. So minus 30 minutes would bring me to 11:09. And I can check if I've done the right numbers by adding these together. This is 30 and 3, so we've taken off 33 minutes. So if we look back on the timetable where we saw the 11:42, and then what you want to do is go up until you see wherever the bus is stopped at 11:09, and you can see that it is stopped at Gretna, and it's the Central Avenue stop in Gretna. So that's our final one. Hopefully that'll make you feel a bit more confident when you're attempting your timetable challenges today.